actually used to pack a much bigger suitcase, and then I had this realization that either I was gonna have to lose my sanity or I was gonna have to pack less clothes.
It is repetition which makes for perfection.
All right, let's talk about public speaking. Public speaking. I think as insurance agents, the more we become invested in our community, the more opportunities that we're gonna have to get out in front of a crowd, speak to an audience. Some of you guys may or may not know this, but my dad is an insurance agent in Florida. Obviously that meant I went on a lot of sales calls with him, but I'll never forget the first time I heard him speak publicly. It was when I was 15, and I sat through the whole presentation. It was real quiet. We got back in the car, we're driving back to the office, still pretty quiet, and he says, looks over at me, he says, so what'd you think? What did you pick up on? And I just remember looking over at him and saying, Dad, you're kind of a badass. So I've always had that story like in the back of my head. When I've been to conferences, speaking in front of people and whatnot, is my dad just being this like cool guy. But it's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than being a cool guy, standing in front of everybody teaching cool stuff. And over the past 4 years, I've done about 67 presentations and learned 3 really big things from those experiences. Pause though, we gotta get on a plane.
Good, thank you. How are you all?
Good. Making a break, folks.
Alright.
Morena, você tira o meu sono. E se você está, eu só penso em ficar do teu lado. Morena, você tira o meu sono. Mas se você está, eu só penso em ficar do teu lado. Enquanto eu olhava a lua.
If only that was an in and out.
Nas águas um balançado mar. É sonho, me perco nos cachos e lábios labirintos. Intenções boas, melhores que algum dia alguém pode ter. Várias pessoas acompanhando, só você não aparece na tela. Mas eu sigo seus passos, não é o fim, seguirei seus passos.
Time for a quick run. Okay, solid run, quick shower, and then it's game time.
Tentamos ser racionais, mas quando nos vemos, parece que os problemas vão embora. Não sei o que acontece, mas as razões são maiores pra partir. Lembro de ti sempre muito tímida, virando.
Currently at the Independent Agents of North Carolina State Association, here for a marketing summit, which went awesomely. So public speaking. Before I get into public speaking, I want to tell you a quick story about a recent experience I had at my gym. So I go to this class, it's called Warrior Sculpt. Ooh, Warrior Sculpt. We like work out, get sweaty, do some crunches, there's music, and there's a leader, and she's calling out the moves that you're supposed to do. Every class, there's a different leader depending on the time, depending on the day, but there's this one lady who, every time I go to her class, she completely kicks my butt. Every single time I go to her class, I walk out and I'm like, dang, I feel like I just did 150 push-ups. My arms are still the same size, but dang it, I feel like a rock star. And then I've taken classes from other leaders who have been like good, but not amazing. I found out that the lady who blows my mind every time I go into her class, she is actually the creator of Warrior Sculpt. She owns that class. She designed it, came up with the idea, like it's her baby, it's her thing. What that made me realize is because she owns that content, because she believes in it, that every time you go into her class, you feel her passion. She comes in there, balls to the wall, ready to go. We are gonna fucking crush it. Sorry, swear words. I get really excited. You just like pick up on that energy and you wanna crush it too. All right, public speaking. You could talk about health insurance, marketing, building a business, risk management, but for someone to walk out of your presentation and take action based off of what you've said, they have to be inspired by it. So inspiration was always at the top of my mind. I travel around and I talk about digital marketing, and the reason I do that is because I believe that if more insurance agents would become better digital marketers, the independent agency as a whole, as a channel, would rise and absolutely crush it online. So that's the goal. I don't want to just get up and speak if nobody's actually going to take action off of it. So how do you inspire somebody? I thought back to my experience at the gym, and I realized that the key to inspiration was how contagious the leader was how contagious her vibe, her energy, her everything was as she was directing the class. When I'm speaking and I really feel it, and I really feel that I own the topic, and it's something that really matters to me, and I care about it, and I care about communicating it in the best way so that people actually, listen and want to take action off of it, I feel like I'm becoming contagious, right? I guess that's just one thing to keep in mind is be contagious. Be contagious. Be contagious. Just when you're up in front of a crowd, you can't take on their vibe. You cannot take on their vibe. You have to recognize what their vibe is, recognize what their energy is, and then you have to bring your own vibe, bring your own energy, and have it be so big, so contagious, so whatever it is, that they just want to come along with you. That's how you inspire somebody. That's how you get somebody to take action. That's what makes a presentation matter in someone's life. So these other two, the first one is you're asking a question to the crowd, or if somebody has, an idea, you're looking for a response, right? And somebody doesn't give you the response that you want. I actually had this happen to me when I was out of state, and I completely screwed it up. I asked a question and I thought I would get an answer that I didn't actually get. And my immediate response was, not quite, right? And as soon as I said that, as soon as that sort of negative vibe, that negativity came out, like, no, you're wrong. As soon as that negativity came out, you saw like the energy in the room deflate. And that person felt like, oh, I didn't get the answer right. And then everybody else in the room felt like, well, I don't want to answer because maybe I'm going to get the answer wrong. So you have to keep that energy level up. And the way you do that is by bringing positivity back. So if you ask for a response, ask a question, ask for an idea, whatever you're throwing out to the crowd, you want them to engage with you, and somebody doesn't give you what you're looking for, you say, yes, I love that. And what else? Yes, that's amazing. And how about you? Tell me what you think. Right? So you keep that momentum going. You make them feel like they just contributed, they just engaged, which they did, it's true. It wasn't the response you were looking for, but that's okay. There's 25 other people sitting there who will probably, as you get through them, somebody is going to say something that'll get you to where you need to go. But always stay positive, right? It's yes and. Don't ever, not no, not quite, not It's always got to be like yes and yes and yes and. Remembering names. There's this one guy in college. He was class president, awesome guy, an amazing speaker. And the reason he was an amazing speaker is because when he spoke, it felt like he was talking not to a group or to a crowd, but to you as an individual. He had this like personability about him that just made it feel like even though you were in a big room, you were having a one-on-one. And that's a really powerful thing. I can't tell you how to get that yet. I'm still working on that. But one step in that direction is remembering someone's name. So anytime I give a presentation, I always show up 20, 30 minutes early, and I just talk with people, because people don't always show up at the same time, right? They sort of trickle in over a period of 15 or so minutes. So you've got 15 golden minutes to get to know as many of your audience attendees as you possibly can. So go up, shake their hand, hey, how's it going? My name's Sid, I'm super glad you're gonna be here, right? So that sort of creates a little bit of a bond. And then get their name and remember their name and call them out, use their name and point to them and engage with them as individuals as you're giving your presentation. think that's it. And this vine has been sitting here and annoying the heck out of me for like the last 10 minutes. Freaking rando vine. I don't know where it came from. All the other vines are just like chilling. This vine is like, yo man, what's up? Let me be in your camera shot.